We started out as friends, actually. In fact, the way I met her, she doesn't even remember how we met. We were in university together, and then I was a day scholar. She was a board at the time. Later, I started boarding, but I met with some pals of mine who were also boarders. Then we're like, hey, what's happening? Just walking around. Then we see this lady walking, going to class, looking focused. Oh, kumbe, my friends knew her. So the guy stopped her and said that, hey, how was your night? She said, I don't know, I was asleep. So now I'm the only one who, so I was like, everyone else is like, oh, you were asleep. I was, so she noticed my reaction. Like, at least this one is switched on. And yeah, so we were introduced. Then now we just met occasionally. We found out we had a class together. And we just started finding out we have a lot of things in common, thinking alike in a number of ways. Yeah, and then it was friendship. Today it's still friendship.
There were many people saying, did you hear Nini? Yafesi said this, it was so funny. And I heard of his jokes and humor before I actually met him. At first I didn't know it was Yafesi until, he got my joke, and then I was like, yeah.
Propose which one? Marriage. First of all, I had a job, but I didn't have a salary. For some reason, they were just, anyway, I had a job with no salary. So I was broke, a good one. Hey, I used to walk to work, Then now, it got to a point where it would be ridiculous, because we had graduated. So it got to a point where now it would be ridiculous not to. It's not like it's going to be a surprise. Will you marry me? She's like, oh my gosh! No, it wasn't going to be anything like that, because she already knew. In fact, we had talked about we had imagined what being married to each other would be like, and all that. We had joked about it and everything. It wasn't a surprise. But the pressure, of course, is to propose with a ring. Not that it's just some random kachuma that you picked, a proper ring. I didn't have the money for that. So I proposed it 3 times. First time, without a ring, she said yes. Second time, without a ring, just to confirm and sure I'm serious, and she still said yes. Then the third time was with the ring, but it was like really close to the wedding. Yeah.
The first time he asked, I was happy. I said yes. But the thing is, I wasn't even expecting a ring. I knew how much he had or didn't have. I was also completely broke anyway. So we were still at Kukusama level and chipos and nini, but
we hadn't even figured Kukusama.
We weren't even buying Kukusama surely. So I knew he was giving me his best, even though his best was not what's in magazines and I don't know 24 karat what. I knew he was giving me his best, and that was very dear to me, because if you can if you can give me your best, whatever your best is at your level, I'm happy with it. He gave me his best. He gave me all his time. He gave me all his affection, all his kindness. So
I drew a picture of her.
He drew a picture.
At the time, we didn't look exactly like you.
I'm Kikuyu. He is a Muganda. But he's grown up here. For him, I feel no cultural, what's the word?
Pressure.
Yeah, pressure or contrast. We've grown up in Nairobi, both of us. We haven't had the same experiences growing up, but it's more or less, we're just Nairobi kids, really. But interacting with some of his relatives, him interacting with some of my relatives, that was new.
the interactions they weren't really, it wasn't really anything heavy, because they liked me for some reason. And it wasn't until now the traditional, that's when they were like, well, this is spectacular. Because, hey, we brought A game. Got my uncles over here, aunties, nini, came in traditional regalia, and those ones where you walk in slow motion, like, dun, dun, dun. Yeah, with music playing in the background. Okay, the music wasn't playing, but now you come in and they do the introduction. There's like a spokesman, he speaks well and everything. Then do some traditional things. And they are very impressed and all that. It was so, even when by the time we got to the wedding, everything was so happy. Okay, my dear aunties, I love them so much. When we arrived to pick the bride, they're not used to this singing nini to get the bride out. So they weren't really singing with ati energy. Them they were singing like a worship song. Nini.
And my aunties were not having any of that. Like, you better up your game, or, we're not releasing the girl.
Hey, people sang. Just liked each other from the word go. So there's never been any conflict.
I didn't have a fairy tale thing. All I wanted was to get married. Yeah, just really, something as simple as possible. It had even crossed my mind to do a Sunday after church. Just, get the pastor to just do vows, and then since there's crowd already, just have samosas and everybody goes home. Hey, where? We went and told our parents we don't really want a big thing. We were not having any of that. I thought we were the most unserious human beings ever. And then also we were young. I was 25. I was not working. Well, I was acting. To me that was work. But to my parents that's, that's not really work.
Meanwhile, hubby on this side, or hubby to be, is working but he has no salary.
Yeah. So our parents were just thinking these are the two most unserious kids ever. They're good kids, but they're unserious. I know even at first I really resisted. It's my wedding, I'll do what I want. No, not really, because then that would really, it was like denying myself blessings to bless us. And here we were, insisting on it is our day, we will do our thing.
In fact, we had to change after we kind of woke up. After we were spoken to by a good pastor friend of ours. We changed the date. We actually changed it twice. So we pushed it further down.
Yeah.
So that our parents also have time to bang up. We had to learn a few lessons about weddings and what they're really about.
Yeah, because I think we really went at them like, we are getting married on this day, and then that was a day we thought was a good one. Then our parents said, we are not ready, we won't be ready then. And I'm thinking, why? You're getting ready for what? It's me getting married, not you. Yeah, so, I mean, we were young, we were idealistic.
And broke.
And we thought we had the world figured out, yeah.
And the thing that stuck out in a lot of people's minds, apart from her dress, is the fact that we started on time.
Into a mostly empty church. Guys were coming in when we were done and on our way to the reception.
At some point, our friends came to us, come, face that way, photos. We're like, we've taken all these photos. Hey, your face is hurting, face cramp. Oh, smile. Photos. Wondering, okay, if we're taking photos, why don't we face this way? This background is better. They're like, no. Photos this way. We've already used this background. Photos. Hey. Okay, so by the end of it, we didn't know what was happening. 2 months later, we were being told the food tent caught fire.
It was behind
So
us.
it was behind us. We were being told photos, photos. People are running around.
That's why they were making us face this direction.
It was quite interesting.
Yeah.
So they were putting out the fire while we were busy taking photos and our faces are tired. It didn't all come down, but within the tent there was, there was a fire. Yeah.
Smoke.
Yeah, everything was, the honeymoon was fine. Money came through for that, and that was fine. Now getting back from the honeymoon was, you get to the house and that's when now reality checks in, because you have the gifts, we hadn't opened them, so our friends had delivered them there and left them in the house and all. So now this process of opening gifts and everything, and then it hits you. By the way, there are things you don't have, like a cooker or a microwave or things like those.
We didn't have anything to cook on. Yeah, we tried to use a microwave once to make a meal.
Oh.
It didn't quite work out.
That one didn't work out.
Boil eggs in a microwave.
Don't put eggs in your microwave.
Don't
boil
boil
eggs in a microwave. Just don't.
It's just conditioning from where you grow up. Like at home, my dad is the one who bought meat all the time. We didn't even think about it. Dad always came home with meat. And so when he would come home without meat, I'd be really confused. What you see your father doing is what you expect your husband will do. Yeah.
He wouldn't even give me a look. He should just be like, did you bring meat? Was I so? Okay. Oh.
I had a nasty.
Oh yeah, because now, I mean, if you tell me, then we'd write a shopping list. Then I'd go ahead and do that. Now, because of those experiences, now I bring meat whether or not she has asked for it. In fact, sometimes I overshop. I bring milk when there's already milk. I bring bread when there's already bread, or meat when there's already meat. So that's something that's like, oh, okay. So she likes it. She likes it when I take initiative and say, oh, okay, I've noticed this is missing, or I've noticed you need this and this. For me, I was used to being asked. It's like, hey, yeah. So something I had to learn.
For my family, we used to when we made dinner, everyone ate at their own time. When you're hungry, you eat. You want to pick your food, go to your room, sawa. Now he came from a family where they made food, they served it on a table, then they sat around it, and then they prayed together. Then there's cutlery, and it was a big do. So when we got married, that's what I'd do. I'd make dinner like at 6 o'clock. I'd eat my food and finish. And then he comes home and he's like, you ate without me. And he'd look very broken. Yeah, I ate without you. I was hungry. So we had to kind of find an in-between. And now we eat together because I think it's a good culture to have. Just some of the things we had to learn.